Hey guys, and welcome back to my iRacing Road to A Class series. This will be my second video with the Formula Renault 2.0 at the Interlagos racetrack. And I've got to tell you, this car has really been a challenge for me. This track has been a challenge for me. I've gotten decent speed, but haven't really gotten where I need to be to contend for a win or anything like that. Right out of the gate will be up to 5th position, so not too bad. Started out in 6th, got 1 on the start, so already this race is going pretty well. I'm definitely taking to this track better than I did at Suzuka. I'm definitely more consistent here than I was at Suzuka, but my times were more competitive at Suzuka than they are here. So you'll probably watch me make a few mistakes in this one, but I'm at least consistent with it. This car is pretty challenging. I don't know, I've never had as much appreciation for high downforce open wheel racing than I do now, because although these cars are kind of easy to drive, I would say, it's just the level of precision that a driver has to have with one of these is absolutely unreal. Just the high downforce and the room for error is just so small. So even at the beginning of this race, you can see me definitely making a few mistakes. I still don't really have this track really figured out how I need to. I mean, I've definitely figured out how to drive this place compared to my last video. Gotten a few more practice laps in, but other than that, I'm still making some mistakes in it, so you'll have to bear with me on that. This isn't going to be a perfect video, but that's kind of what this series is about, right? It's about my progression from being a rookie on the road side of things all the way to A class. So at the start of this race, my safety rating was at a 3.54, which is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. For starting the beginning of the season at a rookie license, 2.5, never having run a road race, all the way to a Class D 3.56. It is a lot of progress. I'm really happy with the progress that I've made this season. And I've driven a lot of different cars and learned just a ton about road racing while I was at that. So I ran a couple races in the BMW M8 GTE car. Here I'm doing a couple races in the Formula Renault. And just got done recording my first race in the Skip Barber car, so that'll be coming out here in the next week or so. I usually record these races and then do a voiceover just when I have time before I can upload it, so it might be a few days, even close to a week before I ever do my voiceover for it. So still hanging tough in that 5th position right now. As you can see in the rear view mirror, this guy behind me is definitely closed in some. Right up to my rear bumper right there. I guess my rear diffuser, I should say. I'm used to having fenders on a car, so this open wheel stuff's a little different for me. I guess open wheel isn't different for me as far as dirt oval tracks go, but as far as having a car on pavement, open wheel's a little bit out of my realm. So for anyone not experienced with racing, or even this car in particular. I'll try to give you guys a little bit of insight on this. A little bit of contact right there. Me and this guy have a pretty good race going on.
Well, you're an ass teaser.
That's not him. Trust me, that was not him. Yeah, I've been in this race a couple times, and
what the hell was that, moron?
yeah, that guy's always yelling at someone, it seems like.
Clear.
So this guy's gonna clear me right here, but he's not too much faster than me. I'm thinking I can maybe keep pace with him and get back by him. So the thing about these very high downforce cars, if you get behind another car, that car is punching a hole in the air and it takes your downforce away. So you might give up a little bit through the corners more than that guy does. But here, when we get up on the straightaway, you'll see that draft take over because I'm not getting all that drag. So I'm drafting him right here, and you can see already how much faster I am than he is. So gonna take it to the outside right here. He was obviously defending that inside.
Minute 36.543. Still there.
So kind of making it work on the outside right here.
Still there.
I am gonna
Clear.
just about clear him. Don't quite get there.
Still there.
And we'll drag race down the straightaway right
Still there.
here.
Door.
Still side by
Still
side.
there.
And I think he's gonna pull me into the next
Still there.
turn.
Door. Clear him. Clear.
Yeah, he's gonna clear me right there. As you saw, I got an off-track penalty right there. That's my big trouble spot on this track, is going into that
Hey,
fast
Nicholas, you got nothing
left-hander.
to say about that?
And I don't know if maybe I need to apex it a little bit later so I'm not washing out quite so much on exit. Maybe I just need to slow it down a little bit more. But it's just tough to do when you're so focused on trying to drive it in deep and brake late. It's so tough to be mindful of that all the time. So as you can see right here, I'm not going to get nearly as good of a draft on him. He's far enough out now that it doesn't have the effect that it did when I was, you know, 1 or 2 car lengths back of him.
All right, Nicholas, I'm filing a protest.
And
49.
so that's one of the trickier things about these high downforce open wheel cars is, you know, maybe you are faster than a guy in the corners, but then once you get up on the straightaway, if you haven't made enough of a gap for yourself, that guy can kind of just run you right back down. Another off-track penalty right there. I'm telling you, you guys are going to watch me struggle with that corner in this race. But yeah, if you don't have enough of a gap, that guy will just be able to get that draft on you and he'll run you right back down on the straightaways. And it's one of the tricky and really at times frustrating things about this car and about these, you know, open wheel high downforce cars in general. I've never been that much of a fan of the high downforce open wheel stuff like Formula 1 or any of the Formula classes. It's just never, obviously it's not huge here in America. Like, there's definitely Formula 1 fans in America, but obviously our premier motorsports are NASCAR, you know, Dirt Track, World of Outlaws, USAC, IndyCar, which IndyCar is high downforce open wheel stuff, but you know, they kind of split it between road course and oval, which I've still never been that big of a fan of IndyCar, for that matter. Over the past, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, I've really gotten into like vintage Formula One stuff, though. So one of the movies that came out a few years ago that really got me excited for it was Rush, and that's the story of Niki Lauda and James Hunt for the, I think it was 1977 or 78. I don't know. Someone, if you know, can tell me down in the comments. I don't know for sure what year it was, but it was based on the year that Niki Lauda and James Hunt battled for the Formula One championship, and Lauda had his horrific accident at the Nürburgring, and then was back in the car like, I don't know, a month later, something like that. But just a really cool movie. If you haven't seen it before, it's called Rush, and it's just an awesome movie. You'll learn a lot about how Formula One was in the 70s. And I'm telling you, those guys were crazy, but they were, for lack of a better term, they were just such badasses to be able to drive those cars. That's another one of my trouble spots right there, as you see me getting off track right there. Obviously, it's not, I don't struggle with that one nearly as much as I do with this one right here. I'm just really having a tough time with it. So more practice laps would fix that. I just need to practice that specific corner, which it'll probably be quite a while until I do that again, since these are done running at this track for right now. And then I also watched the Senna documentary, and that one really got me. I guess that was the first one that I really watched about any F1 historical stuff. And gosh, Ayrton Senna was so brilliant. He was just amazing. And watching that documentary definitely helped me learn a lot about not only him, but also the sport of Formula One and how it was in the 80s and 90s. So that's one thing that I kind of, I guess I don't dislike modern day Formula One, but I really enjoy the older stuff better, because I felt like the driver could do a lot more with the car in the 70s and 80s and the 60s, 70s, 80s. I feel like were the really good golden eras of Formula One, in my opinion. I do, you know, keep up with it at least. You know, if I see something about Formula One throughout the season, I'll take a minute to read it or whatever. I do enjoy watching Lewis Hamilton. I don't know, I'm not super in touch with the Formula One community, so I don't know what the majority say about Lewis Hamilton. The past 6 championships, or I guess his 6 championships to date, speak for themselves. I mean, yeah, he's been with the best team for all of that time pretty much, but man, just something about him and the way he drives. He's just so perfect and so precise on everything that he does, and it's really amazing to see. I think this year he'll win 7. I really do, and tie Michael Schumacher's record. And I think that would be super cool to see. I didn't hear much about Formula One back when Michael Schumacher was dominating, so to see Lewis Hamilton dominating now and being able to watch him make the history that he has is really something special, I think. And I think it's something a lot of people don't appreciate how they should. I've also heard about this new, I think it's the DAS system in Formula One, where it changes. It's, I guess it's dynamic front toe, where the driver can pull or push on the steering wheel, and it changes the toe of the car. And that's pretty crazy to me. That's just really wild that, you know, a driver can be that focused on something where they can make all those adjustments every single lap and make it multiple times in a lap. So if you don't know what toe is, that's the front tires, whether they're pointed in or they're pointed out. So toe in is when they're pointed in, toe out is when they're pointed out. And it's done for different reasons. A lot of times, I believe what it's done for is getting the best possible exit speed out of a corner. So they might make it towed out a little bit to get more exit speed. Don't ask me how that all works, because I don't really know, but I've heard that's the reason that they do it. Like in my micro sprint, we tow it out, or we hover anywhere between 0 and 1/8 of an inch out. You know, obviously at 0, you've got 0 scrubbing when you're going down in a straight line. But once it all rolls over to the right side anyway, you know, maybe it's better to have that right front towed out a little bit. So still in the 6th spot right here, and you can see the 5th place guy is kind of run out from me. Now I'm just kind of finding my groove with things, and unfortunately there's that one turn where I found the groove all wrong and I just can't seem to break it. But this guy's run out from me, and I'm just kind of hovering here in 6th, not gaining, and the guy behind me is not gaining on me either, so just running laps at this point. If you hear my lap times at all, I'm usually in the 134s. I think I had one lap in this race where I was in a 135 as I skate over the curb right there. One more time. Already at 7 out of 17 incidents. 17 is when you get DQ'd, which I think 7 is a lot for any race, really. I would say.
Keep an eye open.
So one guy off in the wall right there. No big incidents with the guy in front of me, although he was running right there around him, so that guy got lucky, I guess. I didn't really see how close it was. So tomorrow we leave for Texas for the Lucas Oil Now 600 opener. 2-day show, Friday, Saturday night. Both non-wing and A-class will be running. So I'm super excited for that. We're just running with the Pace chassis that we've had for a long time. And we'll be running that for the next 3 weekends. Then we have a weekend off, and hopefully, if everything goes right, hopefully that weekend off is when we can put together the new G-Force chassis. I'm super excited to get in that car, and I think I said in one of my other videos, I've got new Sure-Built suspension shocks new gas shocks. So I run twin tubes right now, but these gas shocks I've heard are quite a bit better. And right rear is actually even double adjustable, so I can adjust the compression and the rebound on it. Before I could only adjust the rebound on left front, left rear, right rear. So I'm looking forward a ton to being able to get that G-force and try it out and get those shocks on it and see if I can tell a difference with those. I'm sure it'll be an improvement over what I've got. And then just the other day I ordered a new engine, an all-black Yamaha from Andreas Enyart. I've heard he does great work, so I'm really looking forward to getting that and then hopefully get that to the dyno. We've never had an engine dynoed, but I think it's a really good thing to do. I've heard it benefiting a lot of people quite a bit. So we've never gotten it done and we've still been competitive, so maybe that new engine and the dyno and the new shocks and the new car, hopefully that'll all get put together for a really solid package for the year. I think it will. I think we'll be very strong everywhere we go this year. So I'm as excited as I've ever been to start this season. I really am. Excited to go to Texas, and then probably even more excited for a few weeks from now when we get to put that new car together and then try it out. The first really big race that we've got coming up is going to be at Sweet Springs, my home track, Sweet Springs. They're going to have a non-wing spring fling, that's what it's called, and it pays $2,500 to win outlaw non-wing. And that's, I guess that'll be the second biggest purse that I've ever raced for. I raced a few races for $5,000 last year, but $2,500 is a pretty decent payout. And I feel really confident that I can do well there. And I'm really hoping we get the engine before that. That non-wing race is April 24th and 25th, I believe, at Sweet Springs. You can go to their website, sweetspringsraceway.com, to find more info on it, or look them up on Facebook, Sweet Springs Motorsports Complex. If you haven't raced there before, and if you race micros and you haven't raced there before, I'm telling you, it's a really racy track. We've got a lot of good competition that we race with every single week, and the track's usually pretty racy. Usually top and bottom that you can run, you know, wherever you want to run, you can usually be fast as long as you know what you're doing. It is a pretty technical track, but it's a lot of fun when it gets right and when you've got the right people to race with. So I definitely think I can run well at that one and hopefully make some money on it. That's one thing that I'm really hoping to do this season is be able to, any race that I go to, at least break even. That's just what I really need to do. I don't make enough money to fund this forever, so if I can kind of make it sustain itself, then I'm on the right track. Along with that, I've been looking for marketing partners. If you or someone you know is interested in advertising their business on a race car, I've got plenty of space available, and I've also been doing a lot with social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter a little bit. I've just got some really good opportunities available, so if you or anyone you know is interested in that, please send me a message at Kenton Brewer Racing on Facebook, or email me in the email in the description down below. Really excited that I haven't reached out to any companies yet, but I'm in the process of reaching out to them very shortly, and I feel really confident that I'll at least get some people on board with this, and we can help them out and they can help us out. Yeah, so my lap times are pretty stable around the 134s. In the last race that I did with these, I actually got all the way down to a 133.9. And that's a pretty competitive lap time. I'm pretty happy with that. If I'm running a 133 every lap, I think I'm right where I need to be. Yeah, I'm just not there yet. I need to get more practice laps in, need to watch some of the fast guys a little bit more and figure out what I'm doing wrong. And like I said earlier, I just recorded a race with the Skip Barber, and that race was absolutely fantastic. That car is so much fun, and you get with the right people to race with, that car is just absolutely a blast. I don't know if I've ever had that much fun racing a road car in the simulator. It was just a perfect race. It was absolutely amazing. So I've got that recorded, hoping to have that out for my next Road to A-Class series. That should be out on Monday, I believe. And you'll want to make sure you see that one because it's really good.
1:34.279.
Yeah, so like I said, throughout this Class D series, or Class D license, I guess, I was eligible for, like, I don't know, it had to be 7 or 8 different series. And of all of those, I was able to run 3 different ones. I ran the BMW GTE. I ran the Formula Renault 2.0, and I'm running the Skip Barber right now. So I've kind of mixed it up and tried a lot of different things. Probably the one I was best at, if I had to say, I'd probably say I was best at the BMW. This is for sure my worst car that I've tried so far. And I think I'm pretty decent at the Skip Barber. It's a pretty easy car to drive, but it's really fun when you get it right, and it's really fun. You can kind of slide it around a little bit, and just takes a special discipline to be able to be fast with it, because it's such a momentum car. It's all about just keeping your momentum up, because it doesn't have the power that the higher cars have. Even this car, I can tell, has quite a bit more power than that Skip Barber.
557.
So 2 to go at this point. Coming up on a lap car right here. I think he's just going to let us go here in the next turn. He actually goes too wide, gets out of the groove a little bit. And of course that's my trouble spot, so I go out with him. But get by him clean and push on to the end of the race. Yeah, so going to Texas this weekend, I'll have 2 GoPros on my car. I'll have one facing out the front, one out the back, and I think that'll make for some really cool videos, as far as like being able to see different things and
White flag.
you know, make it just more exciting, really. I have 2 GoPros on that, I really wouldn't mind having a third GoPro, honestly, on the car, but it's not, you know, it's not enough of a priority that I need to go out and buy one right now. I'll wait until I can get a good deal on one somewhere. And then I also have been kind of tossing around the idea of getting the newest GoPro, the Hero 8, and it's got that media mod where it's got a light and a microphone on it, and I just think that would be really good for keeping you guys updated between my races throughout the night. I'd like to interact with my audience a little bit more with the onboard races, so that's something I'm definitely looking into. It's tough. It's really tough to spend that kind of money. If you don't know, the Hero 8 Black is $400 retail price, and that's not if you get, you know, a spare battery for it, a case, like a travel case maybe. I'd like to have this three-way attachment where you can have it like as a selfie stick, or it goes into a tripod as well. And I'd kind of like to have these jaws mount. I think that would be cool, be helpful to have. So I'm looking into that. Pretty lousy last corner right there, but coming to the line right here, we're going to end up in 6th spot. Definitely a decent race for me. I mean, like, I finished 6th. I had decent speed throughout the entire race, but man, that one spot just gave me trouble, like every lap almost. Not every lap, but at least half the laps probably gave me trouble, and I ended up with 11 total incidents in this one. So it's actually gonna put my safety rating at 3.58 for this one, and yeah, so 3.58, still gained just a little bit, but could have been way better if I didn't have that trouble spot. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I did a lot of rambling in this one, talked about a lot of different things, but I'm finding it kind of difficult to keep you guys updated with things as I record these videos and my NASCAR heat, and I got the sprint car game starting soon. It's kind of difficult to keep you guys updated, but hope you guys got something from that, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching me go off the track every single lap, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Got to give a shout out to Nathan Benson Motorsports, DDI Fabrication, and Sure Built Suspensions. Again, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one.